Hello everyone, my name's Jeff. I'm going to show you a pulley system that we use for one of our Halloween decorations. And on the pulley system we have some flying ghosts. And if you look up here, there's one of our ghosts right there. And we have this going around our yard, and I'm going to show you how it was put together and give you a tour of our flying ghosts. There are 7 poles like this one. This one is the main pole. It has a motor, a windshield wiper washer motor that drives the whole system. I don't know if you can see the string, but it runs from that main pole behind me up to this pulley up here on this higher part of the house. It's just a bicycle wheel mounted on the underside of the eaves. That's pulley number 2. And then right here is ghost number 2. It was a bit windy today. It blew part of the ghost up over the line, but that's okay. Here's the 3rd pole, and it's similar to the one behind me. Just has a bicycle wheel mounted up at the top of it. The wheel is about 16 feet off the ground, and I sank a hole about 30 inches deep and put a pipe sleeve inside it, and the sleeve is slightly bigger than this main pole. The pole is just simple fence railing. So now we're coming up on the next ghost. He's hanging up here. And this pole here I mounted to a post that's going around this pumpkin patch on the fence here. But this pulley is about 20 feet high. And if you look here, you can see I just anchored it up against the post, just using a bracket and a couple of bolts. And then down on the lower side here at the bottom, you can see a bolt coming out of the post, and I cut a small notch in the bottom of the post right there, and that prevents the entire pole from spinning. Over here I've got another one similar to the one we just looked at. It too is about 20 feet up in the air. These are 2 10-foot length fence rails, just slipped together and going straight up. From this last pulley we move back towards the house, and there's another ghost up there. And you can see actually 2 wheels up there. The one that's further away is actually the one that is supporting the string. So I need to pause for a moment. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. You can see the 2 wheels up there. The bigger bicycle wheel on the right was the first one I used, but the string kept jumping out of the rim because of the tightness of the fishing line. The fishing line that goes around the entire system is 100-pound test, and it makes a giant loop around the yard of about 440 feet is the entire length. Each ghost is held on by 3 fishing line leaders, and one holds the head and the other two on the outside of the ghost hold up the arms. The wheel that you see up there on the left is just a rim from my riding lawnmower. And I'll take you up on the roof here in a moment and show you a little more of how it was put together. From this pulley that you see there, the line runs up to the very high point of the house, which is that pulley up there. And again, we'll go up there in just a moment. And then that feeds the fishing line back to the pulley where the motor is. The motor, like I mentioned, is a windshield wiper motor. You can see the wheel. It's about a 14-inch, 15-inch diameter bicycle wheel. It's mounted directly to the motor, and I put a windshield washer fluid bottle over the motor. That's what the bigger chunk you see up there, to protect the motor from the rain. And then the power line I have attached to the pole here, and just wraps around the pole and out to the power source. Okay, a little bit about getting these poles put in the ground. You can see it's in concrete. I dug a bigger hole around this area here. And then I took this sleeve here, which is about 30 inches long, and I set it down. I put duct tape around the bottom of it so that when the concrete went in around it, the concrete would not seep up inside the sleeve. And what I did is I just took a bag of concrete and I started with some water, and I put a couple inches of water in the bottom of the hole, a couple inches of concrete mix, dumped it in on top of the water, a little more water, a little more concrete, a little more water, a little more concrete, until it reached this level. Right there you can see the top of the concrete. And I did absolutely zero stirring of the concrete, and it is quite solid. I also put a valve box, this here, around it so that I can cover it up when it's not being used. This long yellow pole here has been my very best friend. Because the pulleys are so high, and I don't like moving ladders around a lot whenever the line jumps off. So I just use this pole to help me get the line back in place. I just turned on the power to the system, so now the ghosts are moving. You can see the drive wheel doing its job. We calculated the speed at which the ghosts move, and they move at about 0.6 of 1 mile per hour, so not very fast. And it takes about 8 minutes for one ghost to make one full lap. But you can see them slowly moving around the yard here. The line, the fishing line that's holding up the ghost, is actually very tight, and I've got it about as tense as I dare stretch it and pull it without breaking it. You can see the ghost. He's about to go through this pulley up here. And you see the leaders are actually what touches the rim, and the ghost actually stays clear of the rim. I'm going to take you up on the roof now. We are now up on the roof of the house. You can see one of the ghosts coming around past the chimney here. But what I have here, the way that's anchored, is we just have about a 1 1/4 inch steel pipe with simple tie-down strap, and it just comes around the chimney. And anchors up there. The square pipe I just simply slid over the end of the round pipe, and the tension of the string is what holds the square pipe in place. This pulley has actually been the most stable, this one right here, out of all 7. The narrow width of the bicycle rims has been a little bit problematic, although I think I've got it solved now. As far as the fishing line dropping off and the whole system falling to the ground. I have 2 pulleys up on the roof. That was the first one. And this is the second. And here's a look at how it's put together. Just some simple fencing material and some scrap iron. And I'll show you how I mounted this pipe to this chimney, just again with some tie-down straps. Got a power cord that's not being used. Let me move that for you. So I got a tie down up high on the chimney, and a second tie down going around the chimney down here near the base. I put a fence cap right here so that the sharper edges of the pipe would not damage the shingle. And also, just like the pipes that I concreted in place, this pulley rests on a sleeve, or inside of a sleeve. So we have a smaller pipe inside of a bigger pipe, and that allows this whole mechanism to self-center when the fishing line is tensioned. There, that looks better. Get that ghost looking cleaner. So the line goes from here back down to the drive pulley. I'll see if I can zoom into it here. So that's our pulley system. It took quite a bit of work to get it up and going. It was very intricate. A lot of fine-tuning that had to be done, but it's running quite smoothly now at this point. And my wife and I are quite happy with it. The neighbors all love it. These ghosts fly quietly around the yard. At night we have spotlights on them, so the ghosts will fly from darkness into the light and then back into the darkness again. It's makes for a really good visual effect. But I think it's been well worthwhile, and I'm quite happy that we undertook this project. And hopefully, if you're interested in doing something, you can take a look at this video and use some of the ideas here and have fun flying some ghosts.